Hello, my wonderful Cancerians. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. In today's video, I will be tapping into the energies of your love life. So it's going to be your general love reading for the week here. So pretty much whatever comes out for you guys. Okay, guys. So the card that we have here is Coffin. New beginnings, liberation, reborn and transition, tragic endings. Seems to me that you're completing some sort of very tough cycle, or there's something here that you're processing about a connection and it's very tough for you to accept. But you also feel like you want to focus on the reality of a situation, as opposed to maybe what you wanted it to be or what you hoped it would be. You know what I mean? It's like you're really paying attention to just what is and not what you want it to be. It's like, okay, well, if this is my reality, yes, it kind of sucks right now, or this is very difficult for me to get through, but I don't want to, plant false hope in my mind, or I don't want to focus on something that I don't feel like is realistic here. Okay, now it says reborn and transition. So you definitely could be, or you could have been involved in a connection where you feel like it was some sort of a catalyst for your growth. So even if it ended in a way where it was very brutal or it was very, difficult for you to process, as I mentioned a minute ago, you've learned a lot. I do feel like there is some sort of a new beginning that is here, or that is on the horizon. But I'm also feeling like you detaching from a situation is causing you to feel more free. So it's like it might be a bit of a bittersweet feeling, right? Like, I'm not taking away from the fact that it may be very difficult to detach, but there's also a very freeing energy associated with detaching and feeling like a situation that's no longer working for you doesn't necessarily also have like a hold on you. Okay. And I'm strongly getting that there's a lot that you've learned about yourself and maybe even relationships and others when it comes to this connection here. Okay, let's see. Hermit on the bottom of the deck here. Some of you could be dealing with the Virgo, and we also have Capricorn energy with the Devil. Yeah. I mean, with the Hermit card, the first word that I was hearing is wisdom. Okay, so you are coming out on the other side, not only just having a better understanding of yourself, but others and what you want moving forward. You're also receiving some sort of clarity about this connection here. There's definitely something that feels very unhealthy. There's something that you felt like was just not going to work out between you and this individual. And I think with the Devil, it could even speak about some sort of an unhealthy attachment. Do you feel like you were connecting with this person because of where you were at that point in your life, right? Was it, whether, like, as a generic example, was it trauma bonding, right? Was it something there that was holding the both of you together, but it wasn't necessarily healthy? Because I feel like what is toxic about this connection is being illuminated to you this week here. I also feel like some of you are viewing this connection as something that was enough or made you content in the past, but it no longer does. Right. So in other words, it's like, yes, I could say you outgrew a connection, but it's also like you found yourself during the course of this bond too, is the best way that I can explain this energy. And some of you are analyzing this connection and you either feel like you had an unhealthy attachment or you were connecting with someone for the wrong reasons. And I feel like you're going through some sort of a very introspective period here. And those are just some thoughts that could be crossing your mind this week, Cancer. Okay. I'm going to start off by seeing how you're being viewed this week. Okay. The Three of Wands. You're being viewed as someone who is, creating some sort of distance for your sake of, or for the sake of your peace of mind here. This is also someone who feels or is viewing you as very determined. In the Three of Wands, of course, there are three wands there, but he's holding on to one wand. And what that's symbolic for is you choosing a direction or making some sort of a final decision here. So this is someone who's viewing you as, okay, Cancer has their back turned towards a situation. I don't think that they're going to be going back on what they have communicated, and they are choosing a new direction to head in. Okay, so they feel like you're not as invested. They feel like there's something new occurring for you in your life. And there really is an energy of this person feeling like you have lost interest in this connection, or you're just not satisfied in it. And so I did mention, a minute ago that maybe this was a connection that you were content in, or, how you were being treated was something that was fulfilling in the past. But it almost seems to me that you're looking at it like that's not enough for me in the now, or this is something that I no longer resonate with. And so this person, what I'm getting at is the changes that you're making and the fact that you're choosing a new direction to go in is very visible to them. It's like they're viewing you in an energy of you've made a final decision and you're not going back on what you have communicated here. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles in the challenge position. This is someone who feels a huge emotional loss when it comes to you. Okay. You could be well off. You could be someone who's in the public eye, or just, you've attained some sort of success for yourself. But this is someone viewing you as you were able to overcome a difficult cycle. You were able to overcome very difficult periods in your life all, on your own. And they're seeing the end result, which is you flourishing, or which is you, walking into some sort of success here. And with the Queen of Pentacles, this person still views you as their version of an ideal partner. This is someone who not only views you as stable or successful, they feel like you are the entire package. The Queen of Pentacles is a very nurturing energy. But this is someone who feels like when they think of you, they feel a major loss. This could be a week where they're constantly reminded of you as well, Cancer, where it's like, whether it's, you're celebrating something, whether it's, you're just someone who is in the public eye and maybe they're there are a lot of eyes on you, that sort of thing. But it's like the more they think of you, the more that they're disappointed in how things have transpired here. They really are looking at this connection with you as like a missed opportunity, almost feeling as if they did not appreciate what they had when they had it. Because these two cards it's not really giving me a negative energy, but it is popping up in the challenge position, which means this is someone who's like, okay, I know who Cancer is. I know what they bring to the table. I know the value that they hold, but for it to come up in the challenge position, it's like they feel they no longer have, access to that. Some of you could have went through some sort of a glow up. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical, but it could be like some sort of success. Okay, maybe when you were connecting with this person, you were in a phase of planning. Maybe when you were connecting with this person, you were down and out, right? Maybe you were in not the best, space. And so there's some sort of a little bit of a glow up energy, or you stepping into your power here that's very visible to this person. I feel like this is someone who does want to speak to you, someone who does want your attention, but they feel like you're very cautious in the current moment, specifically when it comes to where you're putting your energy, where you're putting your time. You may have been very open with this person in the past. You may have always prioritized them or put them first, maybe even before your own needs and desires, but they're realizing that that also has changed. How are you viewing them? Three of Swords, someone who has hurt you. You may feel very torn when you think about this situation. And I'm strongly getting, Cancer, like you're accepting the reality of the situation, but it's also very hurtful because maybe certain things that you thought to be true about this person, they proved you wrong, right? Or maybe you had maybe the reality of the situation in your mind was very different from some sort of truth that resurfaced about this person or in this connection. So I do see that you're feeling torn. I do feel like you're viewing the situation as this was very hurtful for me to go through, and I'm still, processing my emotions. But the Three of Swords also touches on clarity, right? So like, I strongly feel that many of you know what you want moving forward and what you're just absolutely not willing to tolerate. So as much as there is pain here, there's some sort of growth that is coming from that pain. There's some sort of wisdom that is coming from that pain as well. Okay. We have the Three of Pentacles in your feelings, and we have the Page of Cups. Some of you could be getting like a new offer when it comes to your career. If you're an entrepreneur, it could also, it's something new happening for you financially or in your career. There's something to do with collaboration also. Okay, you guys could actually be receiving, an emotional confession or a love offer from someone that you currently work with, or you see this person on like a daily basis. And this is what I'm strongly getting. You are going through a hurtful period, so I am acknowledging that. But there is something new here, like a new opportunity or a new beginning or a new person that is waiting to kind of like, get to know you, or a new start that's just waiting to happen here. So you have two different things happening for you, right? Even though it's a difficult period, there is some sort of light in the situation as well. Ten of Swords and the Five of Cups. The Ten of Swords, yes, it does speak about betrayal. Yes, it does speak about a very painful ending, which is what we were touching on. But, the pro of that card is the worst part of a situation is over. If you are feeling a little more anxious this week with the Five of Cups, if you are feeling disappointed, if you are feeling drained and you feel like something is going to happen, I think that's just your emotions in your mind. Because it seems to me that the worst part of the situation is over. And because you had to deal with so much hurt, it could be something where it's like, I never want to experience that again, right? Which, understand, that's something I understand, but I also feel like what is over. Five of Cups could be when you're dwelling a little bit. Maybe you're feeling a bit nostalgic this week. Maybe you're reminded of this person, but you're also being reminded of why you chose to leave. You're also being reminded of why there's, an emotional gap between you and this person here. Okay. This is also a very strong message of accepting what is and accepting what is over, and moving towards something new, or at least not dwelling too much, because you then are not making room for something new that is trying to come into your life here. That's obviously easier said than done, but I am getting that strongly in your feelings as well. Ace of Pentacles clarifying the Six of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles clarifying the Queen of Pentacles. This person wants to offer you something, but they feel like what they're able to offer you is not what you're looking for, or it doesn't feel like it's going to be enough for you. I don't say that in an entitled way, but there is a little bit of a comparison going on here. Whether it's, okay, this is what Cancer is able to do, this is what Cancer brings to the table, and I feel like I can't meet them halfway. Or this is someone who feels like you're more experienced than them, or you have something more, whether it's knowledge, whether it's, you're in a different space financially, right? Page of Pentacles could be a small offer, but with the Ace of Pentacles, they feel like you're deserving of something more. The other thing that I'm strongly getting here, guys, is this person feels like you have multiple options. Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Wands could be, multiple options. It could be an opportunity elsewhere. Like, they're starting to see that there is a shift in your life. They're starting to see that, you're not as focused on them. You're not as invested in this situation. So as much as they want to reach out, ultimately it boils down to them questioning your interest towards them, or your desire to even fix things or find a solution. Even for the first card to be Coffin, it seems like, you're looking at the situation like, okay, case closed, right? This is over. Like, there's no turning around. And that's how they're viewing you too. So as much as there's a desire for communication, it doesn't necessarily seem realistic. Okay. There could be children in this dynamic, or some sort of an age gap with the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles also. So we have the King of Swords in their feelings. You could be dealing with an air sign, and the Six of Pentacles. I feel like this is a week where this person could feel they have a lot on their plate. Six of Pentacles could be an energy of, spreading yourself too thin, or feeling like your energy is being pulled in different directions. But they're also starting to realize that the reason why there's some sort of an emotional gap between the both of you is they're acknowledging the neglect in this situation. Right? The Six of Pentacles could be when you're giving to more than one situation, where by default, one situation you start to neglect without even, realizing it. King of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. I think that this person is still fixated on you. I think there's a lot of passion and desire, but Four of Pentacles is an energy of quite literally not having enough, or feeling like they are not enough when it comes to you. Like, I don't have enough to offer Cancer, or I can't meet them halfway, or I just don't feel like I'm enough. Where it could be a mentality of lack, so I could read it both ways. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords followed by the Eight of Swords and the potential outcome. Someone who feels stuck on you. but they also feel stuck when it comes to what do I actually do about this? Right? So there's a lot going on for them mentally, but there's also a lot of restrictions that they feel. And Two of Swords is an energy of I don't know how to do things differently. So they're it's kind of like a this or that way of thinking where it's like, okay, this is how I've always done things with Cancer, or this is how things have always progressed between the both of us, where I'm struggling to find a new way to execute the situation. And Eight of Swords is this person thinking about you, but they also feel like they're in their own way, or there's some sort of restrictions here where they're like, my hands are tied. I can't really act on this or do what I want to do. The Two of Swords is being clarified by the King of Pentacles, okay? And the Eight of Swords, Nine of Cups. I think this is someone who feels like you make them very happy, but there's a part of them that knows that they need to either heal something, or there's something here that they need to work on within themselves. The King of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups could be like self-development, self-work, and Nine of Cups could be just when you're turning inward and you're like, am I happy with myself? Is there something I need to do differently? Is there something that I need to heal? This person does miss you, don't get me wrong, Cancer, but there's something within them that they feel like they need to work on. And this is apparent, or this is being illuminated to them because of the connection that they share with you. This is not something that they've realized prior to connecting with you. So I think a persistent message here is this connection almost feeling like it's a catalyst for your growth as well as their growth here. It's someone who feels like they need to feel, fulfilled on their own, or focus on themselves and work through something here. So let's go ahead and see if there's anything they want to communicate. Okay. Anything they want to communicate to Cancer? Okay, so we have, I wish things could be different. So there could be quite a bit of wishing and hoping here. And then it says, I want your social media. So this is someone who definitely keeps tabs on you. And again, Cancer, I did sense that there's some sort of success that you're walking into, or something that is progressing for you that is visible to this person. Just being near you is intoxicating. King of Wands in their feelings. This person is highly, highly attracted to you, to the point where they may feel like their attraction and emotions towards you makes them feel like they're clouding some sort of logic. Okay. And then we also have, I find you so attractive. Yeah, so needless to say, this person is definitely, highly attracted to you here. And it's interesting because as much as I do see that, the attraction and the passion is here, it's also someone who feels like they don't have enough to offer you. And I feel like that's why we have the King of Pentacles and Nine of Cups in the potential outcome where they're turning inward or healing something within them. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you, Cancer. I really do hope you were able to find a message that resonated with you here today. And thank you so much for your time.